Welcome, what's up, ladies and gentlemen? It's Michael Flecha, and welcome to the recap of Extreme Rules as the show just ended almost about an hour ago. It was live on the WWE Network from the Prudential Center in Newark, New Jersey. I'm alongside Anthony Florio and Dee Woodson. We are awaiting Michael Bullock. He is running a little late. Hopefully, if we do get him here, then we'll get him on the show and we'll give him his thoughts and his views on this entire show. Okay, so Bullock is on his way right now, so we're just gonna start. We're gonna dive right in. We got a lot to talk about. I mean, we have just an amazing show to say the very least. And I mean, my God, I think we might have the fight of the year. In my mind, I think we have a match that could easily be the fight of the year of 2016. We'll get into that in a little bit, and we got a lot to go into, and we're gonna try to get this done in 1 hour. So hopefully you guys will play by the rules with me on this one. No time limit, but hopefully we can get this done within an hour. So with that said, let's just dive right in. First fight of the night was the pre-show fight. Normally we don't cover it. It was Baron Corbin one-on-one with Dolph Ziggler. No DQ. Baron Corbin wins the fight, so we dive right into the main show. As always, first fight of the night, a tornado tag team battle. It was the Club going up against the Usos, the winners of the bout. Now this is a non-official time of 8 minutes and 37 seconds according to Wikipedia. The winner of the fight, the Club, the Machine Gun, Karl Anderson and Luke Gallows. They knock off the Usos. Anthony Florio, you lead off.
All right, thank you very much indeed, Cerebral Viper Michael Flecha. Hello, friends. Ridiculously Over Anthony Florio here with you for our Extreme Rules recap edition of the Wrestling Forum. Delighted to have you with us and delighted to be here as always. Before I start, I just want to give a status update really quick. We had the strictly, we had that what was unbeknownst to me, a non-sanctioned, if you will, edition of Strictly Sports the other night, which as of right now stands at 114 views, the highest view count I have had since I took over the hosting duties for Derek Ferreira on Strictly Sports. So praise God for that. So and then follow that up with 57 views for the Extreme Rules preview video that I also did with Bullock just about 24 hours ago. So in advance, I'd like to thank you all very much for the overwhelming support. It really means a lot. So I am grateful for that, in the words of Daniel Bryan. So, all right, now on to this. And yes, we definitely do have a lot to dive into here. I mean, I actually do want to give a small quick thought on that pre-show match. It was about 2.5 to 3 stars, and I'm not at all surprised that Corbin went over. I mean, I knew he was going to. So that's that for that. Now, as far as this is concerned. 8 minutes and 35 seconds, the time of the fall, and again, I'm gonna give the same rating here. It's between 2.5 and 3 stars. It was a very good match. Live crowd was very tough on the Usos, so just imagine how they're gonna be on. And you knew, well, we already knew how they were on Roman, but we'll get to that later on. Usos sold very heavily afterward, and they were helped back, and they were helped to the back by the referees. So. I thought that was a great development there with the broadcast team questioning whether it could have some type of effect on the main event. Good story to tell heading into the main event, though they will need to sell it more because the Usos didn't take enough abuse to leave us thinking they can't help their cousin in the main event. So that's all there is to say on that. But other than that, I mean, it was a very good match. Little bit too short for my liking. That's the only gripe I have. I mean, 8.5 minutes. I mean, I kind of wanted to see more, to be honest with you, and because we all know the great series of matches they've had on Raw over the last not just Raw but SmackDown too over the last month or so. So kind of wanted to see a little bit more, but other than that, for the time we were given, I thought it was still a very good match for what it was. So it's definitely one of my highlights of the night for sure. So I'm giving it between 2.5 and 3 stars. That's how I feel about it. As the man who tells it like it is, and a new moniker I'm going to unveil here tonight. The uncensored, unscripted, loose cannon of commentary. Phenom, Michael Bullock, how do you follow that?
Yes, hello friends. This is the Phenom Mike Bullock here for uh, our Extreme Rules recap edition of the Wrestling Forum. I agree. It's a 2.5 to 3 star match. I mean, I did want to see a little bit more, like you said, but all in all, the time that we got from it, I thought it was a real good tornado style tag team match. So what's next for these two? Do we see them get involved in the main event? You're gonna have to wait and find out as we go about this review. So good match for what it was, and of course Gallows and Anderson they really needed that win. So 2.5 to 3 stars is my rating. So Fletch, I guess I just toss it to you.
Yeah, you'll definitely toss it to me, and I'm gonna say this. I really like the match. I really like how Gallows and Anderson are really looking in WWE, and that was the one thing I was really apprehensive about. When they first came to WWE, were they gonna make them that deadly force that they were in New Japan Pro Wrestling? And the answer is yes. They look very strong. They look very good. They looked very polished, as we say. Yes, I hope this is indeed the blow off with the Usos, even though I don't think it's gonna be. I think they're gonna continue the storyline onward. I kind of sense that this would have been the blow off in my eyes, but it was a good match. I mean, I liked what I saw. It was definitely a 2.5 star fight is my rating for the match. But at the end of the day, I really liked how it just came together. And to have that tag team tornado element in this fight, this was actually more different than any other regular tag fight because you had all four men going at it at the exact same time. I love that fact. And the IWC crowd in Newark, New Jersey definitely was pro club and anti Usos, and that it made the match even more better in the scope of it. So at the end of the day, I love the fitting of the victory for Karl Anderson and Luke Gallows. Dee Dee Woodson, what says you, my dear?
Hello, hello, Angels. Glad to be able to join the guys tonight because I definitely missed being here on Monday. For one, I'm really glad to see that they brought the tornado tag back. It's been a while since you've actually had one on WWE. I do agree with the guys on the rating, and I'm going to kind of keep this short and sweet. So take it and go on.
All right, and the next fight we had was Rusev going one-on-one with Kalisto for the United States Championship. The winner of the bout by submission and new United States Heavyweight Champion Rusev wins the belt. Yes, Anthony always likes to say it. Rusev Bushkria, Rusev Mashka. He has done it. He is now a two-time United States Heavyweight Champion. I think I called this one, guys. I'm probably not the only one who called this, but I called it last night on my preview video. I was looking for a Rusev victory. I got it. And, man, Michael Bullock, I'm going to toss it to you, but holy cow, did you see how Kalisto's body got contorted on that accolade? Oh, my Lord.
Oh man, that was to me that was tough to watch. I mean, for Kalisto's body to get the way it got bent via the accolade, oof, that was tough to watch there. So yeah, I'm gonna give it maybe about 2.5 stars as my rating for the match. I mean, Kalisto, gave it a real good effort here, and but all in all, I think what happened, of course, I don't think he was 100% going into that match, especially after the beatdown he took at the hands of Rusev on that Monday Night Raw. So yeah, so of course we didn't even see him on SmackDown. So yeah, so Rusev is now a two-time United States Heavyweight Champion. So and all you guys picked Rusev to win, but unfortunately, I was the only one who went against it. So yeah, that prediction certainly made me look like a fool, and I'm getting the Morocco whoopsie on my prediction. So yeah, so 2 to 2.5 stars in the match, and like I said, whoopsie on my part. So Fletch, I give it to you.
Yeah, no problem. I kind of sensed this was going to be the moment that the title was going to change hands. I said it last night on my preview video. I think WWE realized they made a mistake by having Kalisto hold the belt as long as he did, and Rusev could now develop a really good storyline with former League of Nations members Alberto Del Rio and Sheamus. So was I surprised that they went this direction? Absolutely not. I think this was the right decision to go. Now you make Rusev a monster heel again, and you can give him that mega heat that he had at one time as the United States champion. Now it's going to be very telling how they're going to play the next few months out, because now with Rusev as the champion, what are they going to do? Because now he can turn around and well, now I was the true leader of the League of Nations. Look what I have just done. I'm the United States Heavyweight Champion. What did Del Rio do in his career? What has Sheamus did when he was a part of our crew? Those guys were a bunch of weaklings. They were a bunch of losers. Look at me. I don't need them now in my business. I don't need them in my life. And look at me. I'm a winner now. I'm the greatest. I can be the greatest United States champion of all time. He can really play that. I'm better than the League of Nations. I'm better than the lads, and you can sense maybe a good storyline that can be developed. Now, there's talk about them repackaging Alberto Del Rio, possibly him going back into that aristocrat type gimmick that he had, basically with his own personal ring announcer, which rumors are swirling that it might end up being Melissa Santos, the stunning beauty of Lucha Underground, and that she might be the personal ring announcer a la what Ricardo Rodriguez was. And I think me and Didi Whitson knows that was a big fan of Brandy, who is one of our other friends from the wrestling world, and she loved Ricardo Rodriguez. So we'll get into that on another day. I agree with you for the most part, Michael Bullock. I'm going to give you about 2 stars. The time of the fight unofficially was about 9 minutes and 30 seconds. So that's what I got on my clock. And with that said, Didi, I'm going to give it to you. Rusev, new champion.
I am not surprised, not one bit. I do agree with the rating of the 2 stars. It was a fair match. I'll give it that much. So I'm going to go ahead and toss it.
Yeah, I think you guys underscored it a little bit, with all due respect. I say it was, yet again, another 2.5 to 3 star match, because I thought, there was some good action in this one, and Jason Powell, our friend from ProWrestling.net, in his review said that he was actually waiting for referee John Cone to actually disqualify Rusev for ignoring his orders and not allowing Kalisto to get that medical treatment. I mean, that's what he said. He said it was a strange finish. I was actually waiting for the referee to disqualify Rusev for ignoring his orders and not allowing Kalisto to receive medical treatment. I'm not a fan of it because when there's a legit medical situation, the fans will be left wondering why the opposing wrestler doesn't do what Rusev just did. But that's from the words of Jason Powell. Now the words from me, as the man who tells it like it is. With all that being said, it is so nice to see Rusev finally take a step forward by regaining the United States Heavyweight Championship here tonight. And that's an interesting scenario that Michael Flecha just threw out there, and I saw it during his preview video last night, with a possibility of a feud with Sheamus and/or Alberto Del Rio, now that the League of Nations are no more. But Powell makes another interesting point. He says now we wait to see if Rusev is a transitional champion for one John Cena when John Cena comes back next Monday night on Memorial Day night. So we'll have to wait and see on that. Let's hope that's not the case because we all know Cena killed his momentum. I mean, he killed it dead. Let's not kid ourselves. I mean, Rusev first came in, what was he? He was a monster badass heel. I mean, he was undefeated for over a year. He was unpinned and unsubmitted for over a year before, of course, they fed him to Cena at WrestleMania. And for the last year and change, Rusev had not really recovered from that. I mean, he was treated like a damn joke. And now, finally, after well over a year, after being in ridiculous storylines and, being somewhat of a member of Derek Ferrera's Burial Club, Alexander Rusev is finally back. He's back to being that monster badass heel. He's got the United States Heavyweight Championship back. He's got Lana back. And hopefully this is the start of bigger and better things for the Bulgarian Brute. So I really hope he does not end up being fed to Cena yet again. So even if he is fed to Cena again, it could bring back the possibility of the John Cena United States Heavyweight Championship Open Challenge, which of course was far and away the best thing that we saw in 2015. So that's just a food for thought. So I'm just gonna leave it at that. So with that, 2.5 to 3 stars. Welcome back, Rusev. We missed you, brother. I'm glad they finally give you what's back. So let's move on.
And not only that, but welcome back to the United States Heavyweight Championship, because now I believe the belt now has prominence again that Rusev is the champion. All right, so now let's dive into the next fight of the night, which was for the WWE Tag Team Championship. It was the New Day versus the Vaudevillains. New Day wins the bout. 6 minutes and 20 seconds was the time of the fall. I'll take it here, guys. Okay, this was an okay fight. I could give this about maybe 1.5 to 2 stars, but this had a lot of good psychology and a lot of good action. And for once, I gotta say this, I thought Xavier Woods had one of his best performances in the ring tonight. I thought he was really good. I loved the ending. Yeah, it was a little bit of a heel-like ending. Kofi hits him with the Trouble in Paradise. Xavier picks up the scraps from there. They get the 1, 2, 3, and they knock off the Vaudevillains. But I like the fact that it just gave us a good, solid tag team fight. There was a very near close fall. They actually, the Vaudevillains looked like they had the title won at one point. They did the worldly dervish, which normally that would have been it. We would have had new champions, but Xavier Woods just slips out the back door before the count of 3, and that kept the fight going just for a little while longer. My goodness, I thought it was a decent fight. 1.5 to 2 stars. Unfortunately, by default, I gotta give this the worst fight of the night, but because it was a default situation, Dee, what's yours?
I would probably agree with that. I mean, It was a very interesting tag match, and I am I'm not a fan of New Day, but I would definitely say I'm kind of happy they won that one. Um, but like I said, I'm trying to keep it short and sweet, so I'm passing it on.
Fair enough, Dee Dee Woodson. Yeah, I'm actually going to give it 2 to 2.25 stars for the rating, and I would probably have to say by default the worst fight of the night. I mean, I told you I did have some concerns about this fight going in. I didn't think this fight was going to be anything, overly spectacular, and go figure, I was right. I was hoping I was wrong, but Vaudevillains could have made history tonight. I mean, they could have become the first team in history to win both the NXT and WWE Tag Team Championship. That did not happen, and Vaudevillains looked good in defeat. I mean, they hit the whirling dervish, and I thought, hey, they're actually going to do it, but no, it did not happen. The New Day continues to reign as they continue on with as they are still the longest reigning champions in WWE today. 273, soon to be 274 days and counting since last year's SummerSlam at the Barclays in Brooklyn when they won the tag team titles for a second time in that unforgettable three-way, four-way match, whatever that thing was. But man, oh man, I mean that was some good stuff right there. So once again, New Day wins it. New Day rocks, and they are still your WWE World Tag
Team Champions.
You know why? Why is that? Because New Day rocks. New Day rocks. New Day rocks. All Newark, all New Jersey. Don't you dare be sour. Clap for your still world-famous two-time champs and feel the power. Why is that, Bullock? You know why. It's a new day. Yes, it is. And with that, it's all yours.
All right, Bullock, go ahead.
All right. 2 to 2.25 stars is my rating on the match, and yeah, I do agree. This is the by default the worst fight of the night. I mean, it was good for what it was, but not really overly special about this match. So yeah, New Day continues their reign as tag team champions. So yeah, so there's really nothing more to say except let's move on to our next match, Fletch.
I don't think we would be doing that, Dee Dee Woodson. We probably would get thrown off YouTube if we were doing that.
Well, what did she say?
Check the chat. I'm not gonna say it out here on air.
I think you have to say it to me after the show because somehow I don't get it on mine.
Okay, I'll tell you after the show. It was about twerking. You know how the New Day likes to do all that twerking?
Oh, no, yeah.
Yeah, that. So, okay, anyway. Let's just go right into, well, you know what? I said this earlier tonight, and I said that this was going down as one of the greatest matches I've ever seen. And I'm going to say, I think we all can agree, this is going to be a 5-star rating fight. A fatal 4-way for the Intercontinental Championship. The Miz versus Cesaro versus Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn. The winner of the bout and still the Intercontinental Champion is The Miz. Dee Dee Woodson, I know you say you want to be short and sweet. Please don't be short and sweet with this fight because I know you were saying a lot of great things about this fight. Go ahead, my dear. It is all yours.
In my opinion, I would definitely say this is probably the fight of the night. That they just did a very awesome job, just all the back and forth action, and no, I'm not entirely surprised at the ending. I had a feeling Miz was going to walk away with it, but I mean, just seeing Sami Zayn first thing coming in there, kicking Kevin Owens in the face. I mean, that was it was kind of awesome to see him just roll out of the ring and, and then the Miz going out at the same time and just starting off with one-on-one. And it was just, I mean, there's just so much action. You just can't really put it all in perspective without just, watching it. It was just, in my opinion, a totally good match. And I would definitely agree. It was, a 5-star match. They gave it their all. You could tell by the end of the match they were all exhausted. But I mean, how many matches do you have where they end up giving it 100% like that? There's not very many. So I'm going to pass it on now.
Okay, this is the time where I'm about to really tell it like it is here. A la Jesse the Body Ventura. That match we saw tonight was an absolute classic. I haven't seen any better in all my 20 or 30 years of watching professional wrestling. I mean, I don't think you're ever going to see a better match than that if any of us live to be 100. I mean, I'll tell you that right now. So, but let me just tell you right here and now, Michael Flecha is absolutely spot on. Fight of the night. It's not often we get to say this rating on the show, but this is one of those rare times we get to pull the trigger literally tonight. 5-star classic, fight of the night, and without question, it's definitely right up there for the fight of the year. Has it just overtaken our previous fight of the year, which we still as of right now feel is still Sami Zayn and Shinsuke Nakamura from the Takeover Dallas? It just might have. I mean, wow. Honestly, I did not have any. I mean, my hopes for this fight, I thought this was going to be, at best, 3 to 3.5. I honestly never thought in my wildest dreams I would have said that this fight was going to be the fight of the night and a 5-star classic. If any of you guys said that to me, I would have called you all liars. Well, wow. 5-star classic. I mean, Shakespearean drama at its absolute finest. The near falls were just incredible. The action was incredible. The fans, we were all hooked from start to finish. I mean, nothing bad about the match. I mean, from the time the bell rang to the time the bell rang to end it. I mean, former TNA referee Rudy Charles, who's now known in WWE as Dan Engler. That's his WWE name, Dan Engler. Of course, Rudy. I mean, when he was Rudy Charles in TNA, he refereed some classics. But let me tell you, as a man who I mean, I know we all have an appreciation for the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship, but here's a guy, and Michael Flecha, you can attest to this. I'm the guy who appreciates the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship probably more than any of you guys do. I mean, I have a compilation DVD set that they put out a few years ago, showcasing the greatest Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship matches of all time. And when you think about great Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship matches, there are 3 that come to mind automatically. WrestleMania 10, the ladder match, Razor Ramon and Shawn Michaels. SummerSlam 1992, Bret the Hitman Hart, the British Bulldog, Davey Boy Smith, 80,355 at Wembley Stadium in London, England. And of course, Macho Man Randy Savage and Ricky the Dragon Steamboat from WrestleMania 3 in the Pontiac Silverdome. I mean, I can honestly say after what we saw tonight, that match, the match we saw tonight, this 4-way, can now be ranked right up there with those 3 instant classics that I just mentioned to you all here and now. For the last few years, we've all been, or probably nobody more so than I have been, very vocal. I've gone on many of rants saying that the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship is not prestigious anymore. It lost its luster. They treated it they treated it like a prop and a joke championship, much like TNA does with the King of the Mountain championship. But for at least tonight, that Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship was not a joke. What those four men did tonight, what The Miz, Antonio Cesaro, Kevin Owens, and Sami Zayn did for our enjoyment tonight, that was above and beyond the Call of Duty. Let me tell you that right now. They didn't go out there just to have a good match. No, they wanted to steal the show. And like JBL would always say, somebody call the sheriff because those four boys stole the show here tonight. That's all there is to say about it. So, after what we witnessed tonight, I'm about to pull the Daniel Bryan once again. On behalf of all four of us, we are just one word. And that one word, grateful. Phenom, Michael Bullock, I don't know how in the world you're going to follow that, but I dare you to at least consider giving it a try. 5-star classic, fight of the night, and now one of the 5 greatest Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship matches of all time. Follow that, Bullock, I dare you.
I don't even know if I can. But yeah, I do agree. Fight of the night, and definitely a 5-star classic. I mean, what else is there to say on it? I mean, this was just awesome. I mean, all the near falls that we saw in this match. I mean, all I can basically say is bravo to all 4 of these competitors in this match. I mean, they really gave us something to be excited about tonight, and boy howdy, I mean, and like you said, Florio, I mean, before that, the Intercontinental Championship was basically, it was like nothing, but they made that Intercontinental title prestigious again tonight. So the Miz once again retains, and so what's next now for the Miz? Who's going to be the next person in line to challenge him for the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship? We'll certainly find out, maybe starting tomorrow night on Monday Night Raw. So, but either way, these 4 definitely deserve a round of applause for what they did tonight. They stole the show. 5 stars. Fight of the night. Fletch, it's yours.
This was unbelievable. I don't even know how we could even talk about how great this match was. Based off the feedback from the IWC, social media was absolutely exploding after this fight was all said and done. I don't think they've ever seen anything like it. And JBL pretty much said it best. This is now in the category where we could talk about greatest Intercontinental title fights of all time. I mean, it's going to go up there with Macho Man Randy Savage versus Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, WrestleMania 3, to the ladder match, the original ladder match, Shawn Michaels versus Razor Ramon from WrestleMania 10, to the what also was a great match, Bret the Hitman Hart versus the British Bulldog from the 1992 SummerSlam from Wembley Stadium in London. This match goes in that level of greatness. Now, where do you rank it as greatest of all time? I mean, that's going to be a debate for another day, but this was without a doubt 5 stars and beyond. I mean, it is my fight of the night. It's my fight of the year. They knocked off Nakamura versus Sami Zayn. Like it's gone. This is my new fight of the year, at least for me. And this could be, and this is at least in my conversation as one of the greatest top 5 Intercontinental Championship fights of all time, in my opinion. So, I mean, major accolades here tonight for all 4 men, and this was an unbelievable match, and one that I know we'll be talking about for years and years to come. Alright guys, so let's go right into the next fight of the night. It was Dean Ambrose one-on-one with Chris Jericho. Dean Ambrose wins the Asylum match at 26 minutes and 20 seconds. Anthony Florio, you know, we talked about how great the five-star classic of the Intercontinental title fight. Then we had an almost equal, maybe a 4.5 with Ambrose and Jericho.
Yeah, just about. But as we always say, you can't please everybody. That evidenced by Derek Ferreira and Jason Powell. Derek Ferreira actually gave this match on his review 2 stars, and according to the ratings that he gave all the other fights, he actually has this as the worst fight of the night. I mean, I could certainly see where he's coming from, but if you thought that was bad, Jason Powell. Oh my goodness! Listen to what Jason Powell had to say about it. Release the kennel match hounds. This was a campy garbage match mess. The effort was there, and I'm sure Jericho will especially feel it in the morning. But the live crowd was flat for everything, other than the thumbtacks. I dubbed this match the Clockwork Orange House of Lethal Lockdown Fun based on 2 terrible TNA gimmick matches. And I'll be damned if they didn't pull out the thumbtacks, which are staples of TNA garbage matches. I hope no one kids themselves into defending this by saying the crowd would have reacted better if it didn't have to follow the 4-way. They had 26 painful minutes to get the crowd into the match, and nothing worked. Those are the words from Jason Powell. So, like I always say, you can't please everybody.
But I think we all are going to respectfully disagree with them.
Oh yes, we're certainly going to disagree with that. I'm going to say it was the 3rd best fight of the night. I mean, of course, you already know where we stand on the 4-way, and then there was one other match that I thought was better, and I think we all know where we're going with that. But this right here, not 5 stars by any means. I'm going to give it somewhere between 4 to 4.25. I'm going to do that, 4 to 4.25. Because I think 2 is a little bit harsh. I mean, yeah, it was slow in spots, and yeah, it was kind of snoozy at times a little bit, but I enjoyed it, and I actually thought it was better than the Payback match, honestly. I mean, 26 minutes and 20 seconds worth of action. I mean, the weapons were there. I mean, the effort was definitely there. I mean, I know the crowd was flat, especially after that. Especially when WWE put this on right after that awesome 4-way. I mean, it was basically like WrestleMania 25 all over again. You all remember when Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker stole the show, and those 2 other matches that had to follow it. You know, Cena, Edge, and Big Show for the World Heavyweight Championship, and then of course Triple H and Randy Orton. You all know the story about those 2 bouts, especially the Triple H and Orton match. So that's exactly what the other matches had in store for them tonight. 2 of them delivered, the other not so much. We'll get into that in a moment, but I'm not at all surprised Ambrose went over. Like I said, if we're going to take him as a serious threat in the Money in the Bank ladder match, which you heard it here first, I think Ambrose is going to be in that match. I really do. So with that being said, not the greatest match, but like I said, it was a very good match for what it was. I mean, like I said, a little slow and boring in spots, but other than that, I mean, exciting to say the very least. First ever Asylum match. It was an experience for us to take in, and while it wasn't the most overly spectacular match, it was still, it was a great effort, and that's all there is to say about it. So hopefully we'll see another one of these matches very soon. So for me, it's the 3rd best fight of the night. It's 4 to 4.25 stars. So we'll see what's next. Like I said, for Ambrose, I think it's Money in the Bank. We'll see about Jericho. I don't know. But for right now, Michael Bullock, your thoughts on the first ever Asylum match?
Yeah, I thought it was a good match for what it was. I mean, and I'm going to give it 3.5 to 4 stars as my rating for the match. I mean, I do agree. I think Derek and Jason Powell were being too harsh on him, but But as Florio just said, you can't please everybody. And Derek Ferrer and Jason Paul are two of the toughest guys that are trying to please. So I have to respectfully disagree with the two of them. So yeah, I mean, we saw some crazy things. I mean, with those nunchucks used by Dean Ambrose, and they actually did use the thumbtacks. And we could say that Chris Jericho actually turned into a human pincushion after landing on those thumbtacks. So yeah, so good match for what it was. I mean, you pretty much Anthony pretty much touched on it, and yeah, I definitely see these two definitely being in the Money in the Bank ladder match at Money in the Bank next month. So 3.5 to 4 is my rating. Fletch, I give it to you.
I'm going to actually go 2.5 to 2 3/4. I'm going to be fair because I understand where Derek Ferrera's coming from. And I think I understand where Jason Powell's coming from. Yes, I understand the elements of the weaponry and what was chosen, the pacing of the fight. It didn't really. I mean, it was as I think a lot of fans were expecting something more, and we didn't get that. We kind of got it being very slow and methodical in parts, and it really didn't send the tone that the fans were looking for. And that's why they were basically sitting on their hands. Because of the fact that, remember, Extreme Rules means you're going above and beyond. You're pushing the limit. You're pushing something more than just regular. And when we saw the thumbtacks come into play, that's when you finally got that element like, uh-oh, this is not PG. We already know something bad's about to happen. And the next thing you know, Jericho goes into those thumbtacks, and you saw the tacks, you see the blood, you see everything. And yes, Dee Dee Woodson has put the photo up that it has been approved by Mick Foley. And yes, Mick Foley was indeed backstage in Newark, New Jersey. G-pop. But
P-pop.
anyway, yes, thank you. But I will say this. I agree. 2.5 to 2 3/4. A lot of people in social media has actually called it the worst fight of the night. A couple of friends that I know who are very good friends of mine, they're calling it worst fight of the night. So it definitely did not deliver in the way that they were hoping for. But again, not my call. Just I'm gonna be whatever it needs to be. Let it be. That's it. All right. So Dee Dee Woodson, if you want to give your 2 cents, go right ahead, my dear.
Yeah, I guess I'm kind of riding the fence on this match because you all are kind of rating it a little higher than I would. I'd probably go with about 3 stars. You know, I think it could have been done a little bit better, but I did like the thumbtacks that came out. That's definitely a Mick Foley type thing, which you could tell from some of the weapons up there. That Dean probably had Mick Foley help him pick some out because that barbed wire bat would definitely be something you would see in the hands of Mick Foley. But all in all, it was a fair match. So, like I said, I'll go with my rating as 3. I'm not going to go as low as everybody else because it was a fair fight and it did hold an interest to a point. So yeah, I'm pleased with it. So let's move on.
All right, we got 2 fights left to go, guys. The next fight we had on the card was the submission match for the WWE Women's Championship. Of course, Ric Flair was barred from ringside if he was to disregard that man, then Natalya automatically became the new WWE Women's Champion, the winner of the bout, and still the Women's Champion via the figure 8. It was Charlotte Flair. She keeps the belt, but Okay, I'm going to say this. Out of all the people I would have expected, Alexa Bliss shows up? Okay, Michael Bullock, this is yours, my friend. What?
You got this wrong. It was
Yeah,
Dana Brooke.
Dana
right.
Brooke. It was Dana Brooke. I stand corrected. But still, what on earth is that about? Dana Brooke?
Yeah, I'm left scratching my head with with this. I'm gonna- I mean the match was good for what it was, but we had to get another screwy finish. I mean, at least it wasn't as bad as the Chicago screw job that we had 3 weeks ago. But like I said, it was good. It was good, but then they had to go with another screwy finish, and Dana Brooke. Okay, I don't know what is going on with this, but either way, I'm giving it I'm giving it two and a quarter stars as my rating on the match. I mean, match was good, but then they had to pull the rug underneath from us and give us another screwy finish like this. All right, way to go WWE. Way to go on this crapshoot. Fletch, it's yours.
9 minutes 30 seconds was the official time of the fall. I'm I'm perplexed. I don't understand why this happened. Well, no, I understand why they kept Charlotte keep the belt. I get that. I also understand why she won the match. Um, what I don't understand is, of all the women in the women's division, why did you bring Dana Brooke out? That's the one thing, because it doesn't make no sense. I mean, she's brand new. She's developing a rivalry with Becky Lynch. Why throw her into a program with Natalya? It doesn't make any sense right now. Maybe there might have been some wheeling and dealing. Maybe Nate might have had something to do with it. We'll probably find out soon enough, because we all know what's going to happen next. Charlotte will probably get into a program with Paige, because there's been some rumors going around that, well, I guess I'll let the cat out of the bag now. Paige is dating Alberto Del Rio. And what happened was, there was some, let's just say there was some extracurricular activities going behind the scenes between Charlotte and Del Rio. Now, Del Rio is saying that what he had with Charlotte was well, how can I say this without getting myself in trouble here? There was a lot. It was more than just. Let's say it was like friends with benefits, or if I can say, they were taking their business outside of the ring, and it was more lust and not love. Where with according to Del Rio, he's definitely in love with Paige. Now, Del Rio and Paige were photographed. I think it was in Disneyland or Disney World. It was one of those two places. So obviously that means there's definitely something going on. And this so-called love triangle is actually now being geared by Vince McMahon, because he knows about this backstage stuff, and he's had a tendency to like to cause a little ruckus, bring a little chaos, from life imitating art. Now, the most iconic one was the Edge Lita Matt Hardy storyline, where that exploded right before our very eyes. And then there's even tension between Shane McMahon, Stephanie McMahon, and Triple H over the balance of power of the company, and that's why we got this consortium thing going right now. So get ready, guys. We might actually have a very explosive WWE women's title program between Charlotte Flair and Paige very soon. Maybe as soon as tomorrow night. We don't know. So I think this is another two and a half star fight. And Dee Woodson, um, if you want to take it, go right ahead. We'll talk about the fight. You don't need to talk about that extracurricular. If you want to, go right ahead.
No, I'm not going to talk about the extracurricular, although I think we all know that Paige is not somebody who's going to be tied down to any one person, so I'm not looking for the relationship to last very long. As far as the match, don't get me started, because you know how I am when it comes to women's matches, and this is just one of these that just kind of irks me.
Uh-oh.
Where do you start? I don't know how many times I've gone on rants on here about how WWE handles these matches, and this is just one of these matches where everything was going perfect until you decided to throw in another one of these stupid, idiotic story crap where you're having Flair buy off another diva to come out here, play like him, so that you can distract Natalya enough to let Charlotte get the win. So here we have another one of these where Charlotte did not legitimately win, so she still hasn't proven anything as far as being able to win a title on her own. And in my opinion, they just need to just completely stop the crap, and let's give this title the respect it needs, because these crappy women's matches like this, that's not proving that for one, that she can wrestle, for two, that this title has the prestige that it should have. I mean, it would have been a lot better off if Natalya would have actually won it, because then you would have had the prestige that it should have had. But now with Charlotte still having it under a crappy win, I mean, if she would have legitimately won without the help of her dad and the help of someone he pays off to come in there, like the referee, or sitting out another diva dressed as him, then maybe it would be a respectable title. But this isn't respectable. This is a bunch of BS, in my opinion, and I am getting sick and tired of them making the women's division a joke. I don't know why they did it. I don't care why they did it. It's just something that needs to stop, and they need to just go back to the basics, and let's have actual matches like they did back in the days of Mae Young, back in the days of Trish and Lita, where you didn't have all this BS that we have now. Yeah, you want to make storylines, but don't ruin the matches, because that all it does is not only degrade the women, but it just degrades the title as well. So yeah, I'll go with the 2 stars for the effort, but the match, in my opinion, sucked. Take it, Florio.
Okay. I don't know how I'm gonna follow that, but I'm gonna give it a try. Talk about not pleasing everybody. That's all there is to say on that. So 2. I'm just gonna give it a solid 2 for the effort. I mean, the payback match was better despite that god awful finish, but yeah, the submission match. I mean, only 9 minutes and 50 seconds. I mean, you had a feeling there was going to be another screwy finish. I mean, I'm not at all surprised. I mean, there was a small part of me that saw this coming from a mile away. So, no, you don't apologize, Stevie Woodson. You were you don't have to apologize to us. I mean, you were more than right on going nuts on that. I don't blame you one bit. I mean, we're starting to. I mean, this is starting to, it's starting to feel almost like we're back to the typical ho hum diva fights. I mean, and that's horrible. I mean, where were those matches that that were making the Divas Revolution, the Women's Revolution, fun to watch? We haven't had that since WrestleMania, when Charlotte, Sasha, and Becky had that match of a lifetime at WrestleMania, which many felt stole the show in front of those 100 or so thousand in Jerry World. I mean, we thought we were going to get it at Payback, and then we had that ridiculous, that beyond ridiculous finish. I mean, this one may not have been as bad, but Dana Brooke dressed as Ric Flair to distract Natalya. Yeah, now they're inserting Dana Brooke into this. I mean, like, I don't know what else there is to say, except I don't know if this is going to result in Natty getting yet another title shot, but I think it is setting up for a Charlotte and Paige feud down the line, especially now that Paige has Alberto Del Rio in her life now. I mean, that's definitely gonna, give her some brownie points. I mean, like we saw with Michelle McCool when she was with her marriage with the Undertaker, and Nikki Bella, obviously, with her relationship with John Cena, and Brie Bella with Daniel Bryan. So I got a feeling it could turn into that, but we'll see what happens. It looks like Paige is probably going to be the next in line for to challenge Charlotte for the women's championship. Hopefully, Sasha Banks will be back in time. I mean, I've been hearing some rumors about Charlotte and Sasha having a summer feud, so we'll have to wait and see how that goes. But for now, this is a 2-star match, and very disappointing. This was a match I was really looking forward to. And yet again, they dangle that little carrot of hope right in front of us, and of course, they yank it from us. What else is new? Move on, Fletch.
The main event of tonight's Extreme Rules event was the Extreme Rules match for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. The champion, Roman Reigns, versus the challenger, AJ Styles. When it was all said and done, the winner of the bout, and still WWE Champion, Roman Reigns. Excellent match. Definitely another one of the top fights of the night. They got 22 minutes and 10 seconds in the fight, but the one moment that everybody's talking about that broke the internet and sent the IWC into a frenzy, it's the return of Seth Rollins. He's back, and he lays out Roman Reigns, drops him with the pedigree, and then the last image of the night is Seth Rollins in possession of the WWE World Heavyweight Championship and shows it off to the fans, saying it basically in no particular order or no stretch of the imagination, I am coming for the belt. I want it again. Oh my goodness, this has just got interesting, and I'm going to say it like this. This is the one time where I truly believe that I like this. I like the fact that Rollins is back. I like the fact that they're going to utilize him right away, put him right into the title picture. And, this is going to be the time where Rollins is going to have the fan base, because Roman Reigns has been very they're going to probably want to make Reigns, they're going to probably try to push Seth to be the heel, make him the bad guy again and try to get the sympathy for Roman. It's not going to happen. The IWC is going to hijack this thing, and they're going to be pushing, mega push on Seth Rollins. This is going to be one time where Seth is like, you know what? I'm coming to get what's mine. I never lost the belt. I had to lose the belt because I got hurt. And because you are the one that's the champion after everything that went down, I'm coming for this belt, Roman, because I am the true WWE World Heavyweight Champion. And it doesn't matter what anybody says, I am going to get what is mine. How's that going to play out? What's that going to look like? We're just going to have to wait and see what happens. But as far as the main event itself, as far as the championship fight goes, this was a damn good match. This was a great match. I love the body of work of everybody involved. I think this was a solid main event, and I think WWE fans are going to be very happy with the way that this, with the way that it played. Yeah, I know they're going to be angry at the outcome because Roman Reigns is still the champion, but if you look at the future and what might be next, I like what I see, and that's the most important thing. With that said, my rating for this main event is 3 to 3.5 stars. Dee Dee, go ahead, be quick. What do you feel about the main event?
I would definitely say it was the second to the best fight of the night. A lot of action. I was not surprised, and I don't think anybody was, that the club or the Usos got involved. We pretty much knew that was going to happen. I would give it probably the 4.5 stars for the match. It was just phenomenal. I mean, what else can you say about it? It's the match that they should have had with the girls was the match they had with the guys, and that just brings back that point. But it's just an awesome match, so I'm going to toss it over.
Yeah, this to me was the second best fight of the night, honestly. 4.25 to 4.5 stars is my rating for it. I mean, I thought this was an amazing main event. I mean, just as good as the Payback match. I mean, unbelievable to say the very least. I mean, if the four-way for the IC title didn't blow us all away, this would have been the fight of the night for sure. I mean, a lot of Shakespearean drama in this one. I mean, you knew the club and the bloodline were going to get involved. You knew Gallows and Anderson were going to get involved. You knew the Usos were going to get involved. That's not a big surprise. I mean, we saw that coming from a mile away. But the match was just awesome. I mean, the crowd was pretty much drained after that somewhat boring Asylum match and then that disappointing women's match. I mean, it needed a hot main event, and that main event did deliver in more ways than one. Roman and AJ went above and beyond the call of duty. I mean, some of the bumps in this match were unreal. I mean, one bump that stands out to me, when Roman Reigns back body dropped AJ Styles. Did you see how high AJ was up there? AJ was like 9 or 10 feet in the air and then crashing through an announce table. That would have been an oh my God moment, a la Michael Flecha and Joey Styles. I mean, goodness gracious. I mean, that was just absolutely sick. And then AJ with those two Styles clashes. I mean, I love those. And the Shakespearean drama was there. I mean, I'm not at all surprised Roman went over. We all knew Roman was going over. And yet, Dee Dee Whitson's got it up there. He's back, much to the delight of not only the IWC, but also our very own hardcore pipe bomb and executive producer of the Wrestling Forum and Strictly Sports, Derek Ferreira. An early birthday present indeed for Derek Ferreira, who's going to be celebrating a birthday this week. Definitely, I know Derek is obvious, and of course Derek posted on his Facebook. He was marking out, and he says thanks for the early birthday present, and to see his boy, to see his favorite wrestler on the roster nowadays, Mr. Seth Rollins, the architect of the Shield, the architect of the heist of the century at WrestleMania 31, when he became the first and only man to date to cash in Money in the Bank at WrestleMania and win the title. I mean, he's got it right here and now. And I think there's nothing left for me to say except you heard it here first. Next month, Father's Day Sunday night, June 19th, the brand new T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, Nevada. Money in the Bank 2016. There's your main event, my friends. Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, WWE World Heavyweight Championship. Do I even need to say anything else? We've been wanting this match forever and a day, but injuries to both men have kept it from happening. We were initially supposed to get it Night of Champions 2014, but then Roman ends up getting a hernia. We were supposed to see these two go out of that Survivor Series. Seth Rollins messed up his knee during a live event against Kane in a house show match overseas. Barring anything catastrophic happening to these two, God forbid again, we're finally going to get the dream match. This is the dream match we've been wanting. We've been wanting to see Roman and Seth go one-on-one for the title for the longest time. And next month on Father's Day night, no better way to cap off your happy Father's Day than watching Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns go at it for the most coveted prize in all of professional wrestling, the WWE World Heavyweight Championship, as the main event of Money in the Bank, the first WWE event in that beautiful, and I do mean beautiful, I've seen it, the beautiful, brand new T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, Nevada. Nothing left to say. 4 1/4, 4.5 stars, fight of the night. Michael Bullock, is there any way you can follow that?
Again, I don't think I could. I mean, yeah, but what a main event. I'm going to say 4 to 4.25 stars as well. I mean, the match was really good. I mean, and like you said, that back body drop from Roman Reigns to AJ Styles onto the announce table was sick. I mean, that was sick. But how about when they actually battled on the where they had the kickoff show set up? That was nuts as well. I mean, and of course, we all knew that that Luke Gallows and Karl Anderson were going to interfere along with the Usos, and yeah, Roman Reigns gets the job done, and then it's the return of Seth Rollins, and hits the pedigree on him and says, "I'm coming back for the title I never lost." Because remember, he never lost the title. He had to give it up because of the injury. So yeah, definitely looking forward to Money in the Bank. Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. There's really nothing more to say. So 4 4.25 stars. So Fletch, I think it's time for our overall thoughts on this Extreme Rules pay-per-view / WWE Network special.
All right, and I'm actually gonna. I believe I get to lead off on that, guys, or is it? I'm trying to think. It was at no, actually I led off on the main event.
Yeah,
So
it's Dee
it's
Dee.
actually Dee Dee Woodson. So Dee Dee, go ahead, my dear. Derek Ferreira, just to let you fine folks know, gave it a 9 out of 10. What's your rating?
I'd say 8 out of 10, just because of some of the crappy finishes and a couple of matches that just wasn't up to par. That I would say just weren't quite pay-per-view worthy. But all in all, I mean, it was a very good show for what it was worth. But yeah, there's just this couple little things that just wasn't. I mean, I'm not going to rehash any of my pipe bomb from earlier, but yeah, it's just a couple of things that just wasn't there. So you guys, I know, will go into more detail, so I'll just pass it off.
Yeah, I agree with Dee Dee Woodson's rating. It's an 8 out of 10. I think Derek Ferrer scored it a little too high. But I got to be honest with you. Same reason that Dee Dee Woodson had. I mean, the questionable finish to the women's match, first and foremost. That Asylum match, slow and boring in spots. The tag team title match, by default, the worst fight of the night. And other than that, I mean, We were treated to an Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship match for the ages, that four-way, which blew us all away to the point where none of us are even here right now. That's how blown away we all were. I mean, none of us expected that match to be that good. I mean, we knew it was going to be a good fight, but we didn't think it was going to be overly great. Like I said, all four of those guys went above and beyond the call of duty tonight for our enjoyment. So that was unbelievable, to say the very least. And we are forever grateful that we got to witness that instant classic and that master class. So that was unreal. So that was the fight of the night. And you probably do have to make an argument that it is now the fight of the year, surpassing Sami Zayn and Shinsuke Nakamura from TakeOver Dallas. I mean, unreal. So that was 5 stars and beyond. Shakespearean drama at its finest. Same with the main event. Although I thought it was a little bit lower, 4.25 to 4.5. That's my rating for that. That was the second best fight of the night. And by default, third best fight of the night was the Asylum match with Jericho and Ambrose. Could have been better, even though it was slow and boring in spots, but it was fine for what it was. And then the other matches were just there. Couple of good things to come out of it. Roman with Rusev becoming the new United States Heavyweight Champion. Hopefully, bigger and better things to come for him. And, of course, the main event, the IC four-way. And, of course, the return of Seth Rollins. Like I said, much to the delight of the IWC and Derek Ferreira. Of course, the only things we know from Money in the Bank, of course, there's going to be a Money in the Bank ladder match. We just don't know who the participants will be at this time. I know one of them for sure has got to be Dean Ambrose. I'm thinking maybe Kevin Owens could be in it as well. Maybe Sami Zayn. Maybe Cesaro. I don't know. Maybe one of the Wyatts. So maybe Bray Wyatt could be in that this time around. I don't know. We're going to have to look into that. We start the road to that tomorrow night on Monday Night Raw at the First Mariner, or the now Royal Farms Arena in Baltimore, Maryland, which we're going to review tomorrow night as part of the Wrestling Forum back on my channel, The Tone 25. So, and then, of course, you already know what the main event for next month is going to be. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. You know it's going to be Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins, one-on-one, finally, for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship, the match we've been wanting. We had a shot at it twice. Injuries to both men prevented it. Roman with the hernia, which caused the Night of Champions 2014 bout to be disregarded. And then, of course, Survivor Series, and, of course, that was Seth Rollins with that unfortunate messing up of the ACL and all that. So it's going to happen, kids. It's going to happen. Roman and Rollins, finally, for that title. And I, for one, cannot wait until that hot early summer night, Father's Day night. No better way to cap it off. Just got a message from Derek Ferreira. I went 9 out of 10 because of those 2 matches and Rollins returning. Plus, that crowd was hot for his return. Yes, that's why I said much to the delight of the IWC and Derek Ferreira. So that's why Derek Ferreira gave it the 9 out of 10 because of the IC four-way in the main event. So nothing really left to say here except Money in the Bank ladder match, obviously, and, of course, Roman and Rollins, finally, for that title. 8 out of 10, Didi Woodson, Twisted Angel. I agree with your rating 100%. So, Michael Bullock, are you going to agree with our rating? Are you going to agree with Derek's rating? Do you have a different rating altogether? What do you say?
I'm actually going to meet you guys in the middle. I'm going to say 8.5 out of 10 is my rating. I really like. That fight of the night with the Fatal 4-way for the Intercontinental title was good. Same thing with that Extreme Rules match for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. The return of Seth Rollins and how that crowd really exploded. But yeah, that screwy finish. With the women's title match was the low light there. So. Yeah, so you guys pretty much touched on everything else. So basically, I'm just going to meet you guys in the middle and say 8.5 out of 10. So, Fletch, I give it to you.
It is definitely an 8 to 8.5 out of 10, but I do agree with Derek Ferrera. There was a lot of good things about this show tonight. I think there's really nothing bad to talk about. I mean, yeah, there was maybe one bad fight the whole night, but after everything was all said and done, this was definitely a big step in the right direction for WWE. Congratulations to them. They really knocked it out of the park. And the thing is that we were really kind of skeptical about this show because of the fact that it's a B-level pay-per-view, and they kind of made it feel like this was like something like a Royal Rumble, or I'm not going to say nowhere near the level of WrestleMania, but I think for even for a lot of people, this could be the pay-per-view of the year right now because of the fact of how good the show was. So I mean, we'll wait and see what the debate's going to be. For the most part, a lot of people are very high and showing a lot of love to the WWE Universe tonight, and we'll wait and see what happens because now it's upward and onward to the next pay-per-view. We'll wait and see what happens there. It is indeed Money in the Bank from the brand new, basically almost near $1 billion T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, Nevada, right on the world famous Las Vegas Strip, actually right outside of the world famous Las Vegas Strip in Vegas. So with that said, that puts a bow on this show tonight. As always, thank you, Anthony Florio. Thank you, Didi Woodson. Thank you, Michael Bullock. As always, Derek Ferrera, wherever you are, we love you, man. You're the best. As always, to the producers of the show, thank you guys, as always, for letting me run it tonight. And here it is. Tomorrow night, the Wrestling Forum, it is a recap show. We are going to recap Monday Night Raw, Tony's Take. There's a little bit of the Mikey's Mindset, especially a lot of Lucha Underground news I got for you guys. For Ring of Honor, not so much because this week they actually were talking about the legacy of the Bullet Club and their contributions to Ring of Honor. So that's a throwaway show for me, but I definitely got a lot of Lucha Underground stuff for you guys. We actually got the crowning of the new Gift of Gods champion. Who is that person? I'll tell you how that broke down, how that happened, and if I find any more news of RWA's legacy, I will let you guys know about that. So up to this point, thank you so much for watching this, guys. So for Anthony Florio, for Michael Bullock, I am Michael Flecha. You know the routines, everybody. Hugs and hand pounds. We out. Have a good night, everybody, and we'll see you tomorrow. So long for now.